Hey, and welcome to AT Banter. Criticize.
This is the AT Banter Podcast, a balanced and entertaining look at assistive technology, accessibility, and its importance in people's lives. Join Rob Minot, Ryan Fleury, and Steve Barclay as they banter with people around the world about anything and everything about assistive technology and the disability community. Now, on with the show.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of AT Banter.
Banter.
I feel like that should have been an electronic cowbell.
Insert one there.
Yeah, I wonder if there's such a thing exists. Hey, my name is Rob Minot. Joining me in the room today, Mr. Ryan Fleury.
Hello.
And Mr. Steve Barclay.
I deny everything that happened in the 80s.
Well, you know, it's funny you mention that. Ryan,
yes.
What are we doing today? What's the deal with today's episode?
Well, it's interesting you bring this up because a couple weeks ago, I was browsing the web and I saw that February 27th was National Retro Day. I didn't dig any deeper than that. As soon as I heard Retro Day, my mind started meandering. And so let me ask you some questions. Do you remember when women had big hair, shoulder pads, and wore leggings?
You mean they don't anymore?
They might. I don't know. But do you remember when men wore acid wash jeans, windbreakers, and baggy shorts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still do.
Yeah, actually, baggy shorts are still kind of great.
maybe not acid wash jeans.
Well, that is true. But if you haven't figured it out yet, those were all fads in the 80s. And so today's show, we thought we would take a look back at the 1980s and what it was. But we also have a guest host with us, Shawn Marsolais from Blind Beginnings. Welcome.
Woo!
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. And you guys, this is my boss, so don't get me fired.
Another veteran of the 80s.
Well, I don't know if I should be offended because I was pretty young in the 80s. I just want to make that really clear right up front.
Me too, Shawn.
Okay.
Liar.
Yeah, that's not what you said before, Rob. Before you said, hey, we should have Shawn on. She's old.
Oh, and it starts. Barclay, don't make me come back and work for you, you bastard.
You just lost your vacation time, Rob.
That's right.
So, Shawn, since you're joining us and we have you for a little while, why don't you tell us what is going on with Blind Beginnings?
Blind Beginnings is busier than ever. We're doing lots and lots of virtual programming. We've got parent support groups and kid support groups and baking with Blind Beginnings where families are baking virtually. We also have a trivia night coming up. So it's a really fun fundraiser that we usually do in person, but we're going to try it virtually. So yeah, if anybody likes trivia, I'd love for people to purchase a ticket and join us. We'll have breakout rooms. So you and your team are in a breakout, and then each breakout room has a facilitator that kind of gives you the questions, and then you come back into the big room to hear the answers and, hear a little bit about Blind Beginnings, of course, but should be a fun night. So that's kind of something we're working on. But yeah, lots of great programming happening, as always, if I do say so myself.
If people wanted to sign up for the trivia night, is all the information on the website?
It is, yes. blindbeginnings.ca. Check it out.
And don't forget the podcast.
Oh, yeah, and our podcast. Actually, this is the first time that I have been a guest on a podcast since starting our own podcast. So if you haven't checked out Limitless, it's myself as the host, and then I have different co-hosts, which are our youth leaders and youth mentors. And we talk about all sorts of blindness related stuff. So lots of good stuff. We have, I think, 35 episodes now. So check us out.
Yeah, slow down. You're threatening me.
Oh, I have a long way to go to catch up to you guys.
Okay. Well, are you guys ready to do this madness? So for those people in our audience that maybe are just discovering this for the first time, they've never heard our show before, and they're like, "Ooh, hey, look, it's a podcast about assistive technology. I'm going to listen to this 80s throwback episode." Just fair warning, we're not going to talk a heck of a lot about AT today. This is more of a fun episode, but you can check out all our past episodes and where we talk about all kinds of things AT. Okay, so that disclaimer out of the way, let's dive into the 80s. Well, Steve, what were you up to in the 80s?
Well, I actually graduated from high school in 1985, so right smack dab in the middle of the 80s. So I went to high school. Yeah, I went through, high school for the beginning of it. After high school, I went to Control Data Institute and got my diploma in computer maintenance technology, working on such fine things as Cyber 18 mainframe computers and the very early generations of 8088 based IBM computers. And then I went from there and I fixed photocopiers for about 3 years to wind out the 80s.
So you were like an 80s nerd.
I was totally an 80s nerd.
Wow, this is fascinating.
Which reminds me of a memorable quote from the 80s. Nerd.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to throw in movie quotes like that, and you actually have to name the movie as well. Do you remember the name of the movie?
Oh, of course. It's Revenge of the Nerds.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
See,
right.
I don't remember that because I'm young.
Well, don't feel too bad because in 1980, I was 9.
Oh, no, I was younger. Kindergarten.
This will be a fun episode.
Well,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, so I was a little bit similar to Steve. Like I was a young teenager in the 80s, but I feel like you guys might have an advantage over me too, because I grew up in a little town called Mackenzie up north, 5,000 people. We didn't even have like cable. We didn't even have access to like ABC, NBC, or CBS until like I was in grade, I think like 10. So a lot of this pop culture stuff, like I didn't get to experience in real time.
Right.
So some of this stuff, like I feel a little bit disconnected from, but it's kind of weird when we did get cable. Okay, get this. Here's a funny story. It's not really 80s related, but it's my childhood related in the 80s. But when we got cable, we were so far out of the way that there was a 2-day delay. Like we got all the programming, but it was 2 days delayed. So we got all the Mondays shows on Wednesday. Saturday morning cartoons were on Monday morning. I was so excited that we were going to finally get Saturday morning cartoons, and yeah, Monday. So
would your TV guide, would you have
math.
to add 2 days to everything in the TV guide?
Yep, absolutely. I had to do math for everything. It sucked.
That's hilarious.
It was terrible.
So you were probably really, really good at programming the VCR.
Betamax.
Well, we have Betamax, which we got screwed with that too, because we fell into that whole beta trap. Like beta, it's the way of the future. They're smaller, they're better quality. Okay, we'll buy one. Oh, sorry, it just wins. Womp womp. So yeah, that's something else that pisses me off about the 80s. In any case, what about you, Ryan? What was going on with you in the 80s?
Well, like I said, 1980, I was 9 years old. And so I was busy playing Atari 2600, playing asteroids. Pew, pew, pew. I was out riding bikes and climbing trees and just having a good old time.
Did you play Joust?
I don't think I did play Joust. No.
That was my favorite
Was it?
arcade game. Oh yeah, Joust. You had a little ostrich and a knight on it, and the ostrich would fly around, and you'd have to battle other guys on ostriches.
Right.
Yeah, it was an ostrich.
And Shawn.
Well, yeah, I was sort of kindergarten to grade 9 through the 80s. So it was definitely my childhood. Cabbage Patch Kids were pretty big.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Two sisters. Yep.
I did modern dance. I remember we did a dance to Thriller, Michael Jackson, roller skating, riding bikes, but my bike had the big flag on the back and the basket on the front. That was totally cool.
Yep.
So yeah, I liked to read a lot as a kid. I read a lot of Sweet Valley High, Teen Beat magazine.
Yeah, I was Hardy Boys.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, roller skates when they had like 4 wheels.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
my
right.
roller skates were not the cool roller skates. They were the kind that you wore your shoes and then you put them into these metal things and you had to use this key to tighten them.
Yeah.
I remember those.
If you fell, you like would really hurt yourself because you'd kind of twist your ankle out of the roller skate. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, safety wasn't
80s.
a priority in the 80s.
No, there was no helmets either.
That's right.
No helmets.
Pointy
Were we
lawn
talking-
darts.
Weren't we talking about lawn darts the other day?
Yeah, firing
Yeah.
straight up in the air and then running.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The 80s, the decade of compound fractures.
I didn't break anything in the 80s though. I waited till I was a grown up to start breaking bones.
I was thinking about this the other night. I think overall, if I removed the nostalgia factor from the 80s and removed like the whole, growing up in the 80s, it was a little bit of a silly decade. It feels cartoony when you look back at it,
Right.
which I think is part of the fun. That's the appeal of the 80s. It's just, none of it just seems so, I don't know, crazy. Like the fashions were like really, really nutty. And let's talk a little bit about the fashions. Because yeah, you look back at that hair and like, I legitimately don't know how people did that. Like,
Oh, the
how did
hair.
you get that hair like that?
Yeah,
I can tell you.
I just want to jump in real quick and say for people who may not be familiar with the trends of the 80s, one of my favorite shows on TV is the Goldbergs. And it's all 80s based. Mom has big hair, leggings. Adam's a young kid with a video camera going around filming all this stuff. He wants to be Spielberg. It's all flashbacks to the 80s. So we're based in the 80s. It's a fun show to watch.
What's it called?
Hey,
again?
tell us.
The Goldbergs.
The Goldbergs. Okay.
Every day it's on at 4:00 here in Vancouver on CTV, channel 108.
Wait, you watch cable live? What? You watch live TV?
You
Sometimes.
know what
that's
time
weird.
things are on?
I do.
What? Wow, I haven't done that for a long time.
Yep.
Don't you just go to the PVR and
Wow. Okay, wait. We got to go back to the hair because Shawn was just about to
Yep.
Oh yeah, I can tell you
reveal
about
the
that hair.
secret.
So this was my hairstyle. It involved a blow dryer. So you'd have to blow dry the side of your hair and hairspray it at the same time, both sides, and then your bangs, same thing. So that you'd have the like whooshing up bangs and your hair like wings out to the side.
That is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, really. What if a spark hit or something?
Yeah, I guess so. It was also took some like serious coordination and I wasn't very good at it.
Oof.
So my one side wouldn't necessarily match the other. It was so stressful. Like the straightener is the greatest invention of all time. Let's just straighten our hair, everybody. Just so much easier.
Did you crimp your hair as well?
I had perms in the 80s. Oh my God.
Man, that sounds brutal though. I can imagine like trying to blow dry and comb. Like you'd literally need 3 hands.
Those hair dryers work by heating up they heat up a coil.
Yeah.
So that coil is like red hot. So if you got any of that hairspray in the mouth of that thing, you could turn it into a flamethrower, burn the side of your head off.
I wonder
dangerous.
how many people were injured in accidents, hair accidents. Could you imagine that? Like, I wonder what the stats are.
Well, remember Richard Pryor set his hair on fire in 1980.
That's right. And Michael Jackson had that Pepsi commercial thing
That's
where
right.
he had the greased hair and a pyrotechnic gun in his hair and it caught fire.
Yeah, that was a thriller.
I have not heard of anybody else injured in a hair accident since the 80s. So that must have been a thing.
Yeah, I think at one point in the 80s I had a mullet.
Oh, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah, I did. Yep. Yeah.
I don't picture
Guilty.
you with hair.
I also had a ponytail at one point.
You?
Yeah.
How long have you had no hair? As long as I've known you, almost.
Yeah, I started losing it about when did I start losing it? Probably around the mid 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, you were smart. You gave up you surrendered. I'm still fighting the battle. Just pretending.
Well, the problem is that, once you start losing your hair, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can grow it out. You can, try and look like a hippie professor or something with long hair but missing spots in the front, or you can shave it off. But once you shave it off, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Right.
Because as soon as about a week, maybe 2 goes by, you start looking like a Chia Pet. Do you guys remember Chia Pets?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That was totally an 80s thing.
That was an 80s thing for sure.
Yeah, Chia Pets. You get this little clay critter, and you spread chia seeds on the outside of it, or you soak it first, I think, and then you put the chia seeds on the outside of it, and then the chia seeds sprout, and it makes it all furry looking. Was Pet Rocks 80s or was that 70s?
I think that was a 70s thing. I think it was a 70s thing. We evolved into the Chia Pet because we were just like, Pet Rock, that's stupid. Here, let's spread seeds onto a clay sheep and make it grow fur. Like, that's way cooler.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was 1975 was the Pet Rock.
Yeah, we were so much more evolved. But I feel like Chia Pets are still a thing. I feel like there was a couple Christmases ago that, yeah.
Yeah, they crop up every now and then.
Yeah.
Chia.
But was that when lava lamps became yeah, I remember that.
Wasn't that 70s?
Yeah, I think that's 67.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're mixing up our decades. That'll be next year. And
maybe they came to Mackenzie in the 80s.
That's right. Yeah, we're about 20 years
a little behind. Yeah, that's right.
That is true.
But what about leg warmers and fluorescent colors in the 80s?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I loved fluorescent colors. They were so blind friendly.
Pink shirts for guys.
No, because pink shirts are still a thing, though, or they came back. I get confused. But you still see the odd guy in a pink shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which famous pink shirt scene? Say hello to my little friend. You guys remember that?
Scarface,
1983. Tony Montana in his black suit with his pink shirt on, firing a machine gun.
Well, that was Miami Vice, and I will. So since we're talking about fashion, and I think I revealed this in a past episode, but Shawn hasn't heard it. So, but I actually, for my grad, I rented a Miami Vice tux that had a pink jacket. It was salmon. It was salmon. I remember this specifically. Salmon colored sport jacket and a white shirt, white pants, white shoes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah. And we asked him for a picture and we're still waiting.
That's a future Halloween costume. I feel like that needs to make a comeback.
Oh, no. No. Hon, you got to demand that he wears that to the Blind Beginnings Gala.
Oh, that's your. Oh, man.
Maybe we should have an 80s themed gala.
There you go.
Now, there we go. Now we're workshopping some ideas.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, the fashion was bonkers. That's why like when I look back and I call it almost like a cartoon decade, because it was crazy. Like the fluorescent colors, like how did that happen? What was that a reaction to? Like, just, it seems weird. It was like the 70s were like bell bottoms and like long hippie hair. And then everybody like lost their mind. And like, it was like all of a sudden, yeah, fluorescent colors were in, and parachute pants. What was the deal there?
And pointy shoes.
Hammer time.
My dad used to call them nose pickers. I love those pointy shoes.
Everything was like, had to be big and colorful and over the top.
Mm-hmm. Big baggy sweaters, like really baggy, really unflattering.
Yeah. Guys had to wear polo shirts with the collar turned up, so they looked like total douchebags. See, now you walk around like that, it's like, okay, you're a douchebag. It's recognized immediately. Anybody who'd wear their collar like that, that's clearly a douchebag. Back then, we thought it was fashion.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna have another revelation here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. So there is still time to time when I will walk by a mirror with like a collared shirt on and I haven't like actually adjusted it yet, and my collar will be up, and I'll look at myself and be like, yeah, I like that.
I look fine.
I like that. I like the collar up. I don't know. There's part of that. And maybe that's just an instinct from the 80s, from that time when it was cool. But I don't know. Like I would go back to that. I would totally embrace the age of upturned collars on jackets and shirts. I'm just saying.
Okay, so now I have this picture of you doing the Tom Cruise, sliding in your socks in front of the mirror with your collar turned up to old time rock and roll.
As long as that doesn't damage your sanity picturing that, then that's fine. But I could do that. That's a good transition, Steve. So movies, let's talk a little bit about movies, because of course you're talking about a scene from
Top
the,
Gun?
I don't know what.
Cocktail?
No,
Cocktail.
even
No.
before that. No, this is
Predates
way
Cocktail.
back.
Oh.
This is like one of Tom Cruise's, I think this was his breakout movie.
It was, yeah.
But it was called Risky Business.
Oh,
That's what it was.
yeah.
I was trying to remember. It was killing me there.
And it made that song by Bob Seger really big, the old time rock and roll song.
That's right. Let me actually throw a few quotes at you. See if you can get the movie. Okay.
I should be good at this.
They drew first blood, not me.
Oh,
No idea.
no.
First
'Cause I
Blood,
know
the 1982, the original Rambo movie.
Never seen Rambo.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right,
filmed.
and
It was filmed right here in Hope.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay, give us another one.
Okay. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Dirty Dancing. That's one of my favorites. I was going to do that one.
Slam dunk. As soon as you said that, Steve, I was just like, I knew Shawn was just like,
Oh, man. I love that movie.
Okay. There can be only one.
Oh, okay. I know that one because it's a geeky one. That's Highlander
That's right.
with Christopher Lambert, where
Yes.
they were immortal people and they had to chop each other's heads off to.
That's right. The immortals every so often had to battle themselves down to a single immortal being alive.
Yeah, but it is true. There were so many good movies. I mean, that I will give the 80s. Like they knocked it out of the park movie wise.
And some of them are still, they're franchises that are still coming back. So another great quote: "He slimed me."
Well, that's Ghostbusters, of course.
Absolutely. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Die Hard.
Nope.
Die Hard. There's no snakes in Die Hard. But that's a good guess, though. Although that would be cool if there were. That was Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's right.
Oh, really?
A line that I love from this movie, although the movie itself was awful. Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight?
Oh.
That's so familiar, but I don't know.
Oh. Die Hard?
No.
That'll just be the guess when we don't know.
That's right. That's Jack Nicholson's The Joker from the 1989 Batman with what's his name, Michael Keaton. It was a terrible Batman movie. Jack Nicholson was, of course, Jack Nicholson, but yeah, he had some good lines.
Okay, I have one. This is
Okay.
easy.
Yeah.
Anybody? Bueller?
Bueller. Fry.
Come on, Ryan.
It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, I love that
Yes.
one. That was one of my favorites.
That was John Hughes movies
Oh yeah.
So
16
good.
Candles, The Breakfast Club.
The
The Breakfast Club was such a great.
man.
If I was to pick a single penultimate movie to represent the 80s, it would have to be the Breakfast Club, because it hit virtually all of the possible high school subgroups and then made them interact in ways that they never actually would in high school.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, like, yeah, looking back at the 80s, like so many good movies and like really like just generational filmmakers like John Hughes, Steven Spielberg.
Karate Kid.
I was just gonna say wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, totally. Have you watched Cobra Kai?
Multiple times.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Such an 80s retro good feel.
Love it.
Indeed.
That's
So good.
probably my number one franchise from the 80s is Karate Kid. Second and third parts weren't the greatest, but
Yeah.
anytime I see Karate Kid on TV, I have to watch it. I have to watch it. I'm a huge fan of Ralph Macchio. And of course, Back to the Future
Yes.
Yes.
and Top Gun. Those are my probably top three.
Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah. It's one thing I hate about binge watching. Like I said, I've watched Cobra Kai multiple times, Karate Kid multiple times. And when I binge watch them, season 4 of Cobra Kai isn't coming out for a year.
Mhm.
So it's just like, now I got to wait and wait and wait
I know.
and wait.
I know.
Hate it.
First
you know
world problems.
It is. It ruined us for TV.
That's right. The only thing worse, though, is knowing that an entire season is available and Amazon is only releasing it one episode at a time.
Yes.
What is this? Television from the 80s?
Yep.
Oh, hey, there's one. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
I don't know that one.
You don't know that one?
No.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit from
Oh, okay.
Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica.
Right.
No, I am your father.
Star Wars.
Oh,
Isn't
you
it-
gave it away. You gave it away. Oh, you've just wrecked that movie for so many people.
But you didn't say the name, so I didn't. It's not No, I Am Your Father. It's the name I Am Your Father. Isn't it? I don't want to say it because then I would be giving it away.
I don't believe it is correct. I think the quote actually is "No, I am your
Oh,
father."
really?
He does
Okay.
not say the name at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually willing to put money on it for.
No,
one
I'm not
good reason.
betting. I don't bet unless I know I'm right.
Well, no, because the article that I'm looking at right now says a common misconception is that he said Luke at the start when this is actually incorrect.
Oh, now you
Okay.
just gave it away.
What?
But we can ask
and
you.
by the way, that was not Star Wars. That was The Empire Strikes Back, which was the
it's all the
last-
same to me.
The
I
last
don't
of the
know.
original three. It was the only one released in the 80s, though.
You know what? I
Dang.
just watched all the movies this summer
Did you?
with
Wow.
my 7-year-old for the first time, though. Like, I
wow.
never saw them when they came out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't get it. I remember something at my cousin's house on TV, bright colored sticks fighting whatever, weird gold people. Like,
Yeah,
weird.
so we had
It
Star
just didn't
Wars
make
and
sense.
we had Star Wars and G.I. Joes, and she had Strawberry Shortcake and Cabbage Patch Kids.
Care Bears, even.
Care Bears, that's right. Care Bear
Oh,
stare.
It's not as long as it's not those some bitch Teletubbies.
Oh, no. That
That
was
was the
not
90s.
That was,
That was the
90s.
90s.
Winky la la po.
That was really
Tinky
weird.
Winky. Oh my god.
Oh my! The '90s
No, I
would be
was
a horrible
more-
show.
I was more into the Muppet Show than the Strawberry Shortcake.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Muppet Show. Holy
Yeah.
crap. That was, yes. Oh my gosh. They don't make TV like that anymore. Like that was a brilliant show.
I used to be able to play the theme song for that on guitar. I wonder how long it would take me to relearn that.
I mean, I
Used to be my
remember watching. I remember watching like Elton John with the Muppets. Like when
Yeah.
else are you ever going to see like Elton John and the Muppets singing Crocodile Rock?
Yeah. John,
Although for me, I didn't like the celebrities. They were annoying. I just wanted the Muppets.
That's
And who
true.
was your-
Some of them.
who was your favorite Muppet?
Kermit, of course.
Kermie.
Kermit.
Man,
Miss
I gotta
Piggy was
think.
annoying.
Yes, I agree with that. I got.
And she was the only female. Like, what's up with that?
That's true.
No, she was not the only female.
Well, there was a doctor that was a pig as well, I think, that was a girl.
But there was
also-
Janice.
Who's
Yes,
Janice?
that's right, Janice.
Oh, well, she was
Janice.
like the female puppet, like sort of like Elmo, but
No,
Oh,
she
okay.
she was in the band. She was in like.
That's right.
the- I know way too much about the Muppets.
Did she have a
I
speaking
know.
role? Because I don't remember.
Well, occasionally she would she was part of like Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
That's right.
Wait, I can't believe I know that. Like
My goodness.
I know what the Muppet band was called.
I feel like that could be a trivia question at our
That
trivia
could
night
be.
right there.
Wow. That's
Wow,
neat.
I just shocked myself. Like it's no wonder I'm not smarter. It's because my brain has this is the type of things that are in my brain, everybody. This is
Wow.
but yeah, no, she was there. But yeah, the Muppets, man. Phenomena.
Okay, so another movie that came out in the 80s that I am bitter about was
Yes.
E.T.
Yeah.
I'm bitter about it because we didn't go to the theater and my parents said, oh, it'll be out in video in no time. And I don't know, something like 8 years before it came out on video.
That's right. They waited forever to release that on
Yep.
video.
So I didn't see it until it came out on video much, much later. And then it was just boring. Like there were so many better movies after that had already come out. And we went to Disneyland, we went to Universal Studios, and we saw how E.T. was made when we hadn't even seen the movie.
When you go back and you look at a lot of those movies, I think the thing that is most striking about them is that the pace is so slow. Like we expect movies now to go at a neck break speed,
Mhm.
and a lot of those movies from back there, like I can't watch The Shining. I just can't watch it. It is so boring, and it was critically acclaimed at the time. But
Yeah.
but I just find it so dull and so slow. I just can't take it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think we're so used to that instant gratification that
Yep.
Quick
things
edits.
just need to move.
Yeah, it was a time when movies built up. They built the tension. They ratcheted things up really nice and slowly, and people ate it up. But yeah, it just doesn't play as much now. I know it's and it's funny too when you try to like play an 80s movie for somebody who hasn't seen it these days, and they're just like, wow.
You
So
like this? Yeah.
This was really good, huh? Like,
Yeah, you look back fondly on this, do you?
okay, what's next? So let's talk about music.
Music.
Another
Yeah.
big topic. So does anybody have any like big standout 80s bands that they still love to this day?
Dire Straits.
Oh, yeah, that was
Same.
good.
Probably my favorite song of the 80s that I still will kind of sing and dance to in the privacy of the guitar dungeon when it comes on the radio or streaming or whenever I request it, because I can do that nowadays, is Starship, We Built This City.
Oh my
That's a
God,
good
are you
one.
serious?
I love the radio announcer that comes in there giving the traffic report while the band is playing the song. Every time I hear that song, it just makes me smile.
Oh man, I no longer feel bad about the Miami Vice Cups anymore. Like I feel like Ryan just trumped me on the revelation that his most favorite song was Starship, We Built This City.
Yeah, I've got two. Yeah, Starship,
Great
We Built
song.
This City, and Don't Stop Believing by Journey, which is also my ringtone.
Oh
Nice.
wow. Oh, that's
Nice.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would pay per view to watch you dance and sing in the guitar dungeon to Starship. We Built This City. How much? $20, $25?
Oh no, we're talking like
Just-
$500.
500? I will raise it.
I'll hook up my webcam.
I'll start up a GoFundMe.
Can that be a fundraiser for Blind Beginnings?
Yes. Yes.
Ryan dancing in the
Just
dungeon.
a 24-hour feed of him doing that. We would
I have a
raise
hula hoop. Will that help?
thousands in leg warmers
Yeah, and my hula hoop.
and a headband.
Sure.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mock you. That
No, it's
quite
fine.
that hard.
My favorite
but that's-
song. You know?
That was a good song for the time. It's true. It got a bad rap. I think it got overplayed and they killed it.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Ryan. I like that song. That's a good song. I mean, I don't, dance and sing along, but
It is.
I see why you like it.
I like it.
Remember Purple Rain?
Yeah.
Sure.
That album was a mega album in the 80s, and the song When Doves Cry, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that song was at the top of the charts, but it was it was up there a long time. That was such a great album.
Yeah. I guess for me, I really locked into Springsteen in the 80s. I didn't know anything about him. And I remember watching a TV commercial that was a commercial for Born in the USA, the album. And they played a snippet of Dancing in the Dark. And I heard the hook of that song and I was like, ooh, yeah, I like that. And I went and I remember buying Born in the USA, the album, and just, loving it. And that was, for me, that was the album of the 80s for me.
Yeah, Clarence Clemens played sax solo in Dancing in the Dark, which was phenomenal. I mean, he was appearing all over the place in the 80s, but that's a standout there. And I think the 80s was when a lot of music from overseas crossed over into North America, and it didn't even have to necessarily be in English, but like 99 Red Balloons.
I was just thinking that. That's so weird.
Right.
Yeah.
That was good.
Hey, okay, how about this? I'll work this one backwards. The first and biggest hit by the Norwegian electropop trio, I'm not saying who,
Okay.
rose to international popularity in 1985 on the strength of its groundbreaking video, a mix of live action and pencil-drawn animation that starred dreamy lead singer, not saying his name, as the hero of an escape romance between a lonely woman and a comic book adventurer. It won 6 MTV Video Awards.
Ooh.
This song's masterfully infectious synth riff, sampled back to glory by Pitbull and Christina Aguilera in 2013's Feel This Moment, would be enough to secure it a spot on any list of 80s classics. You think
What's
so?
a Christina Aguilera?
I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding. No.
She just sampled it.
No, okay. I think I know the answer to this. And only because you gave it away with, I think, the pencil drawing part, because I vaguely remember this video. But are you talking? What's it? Is it Aha?
It is. Take on
And
Me by Aha.
Take on Me.
Okay.
Take on me.
Take on me.
Thank you for backing me up, people.
Yeah.
Oh, the Zoom sing along really doesn't work.
Yeah, it really does. And to this day, people are getting rickrolled.
Oh, was that?
Rick.
Yes,
That was
yeah, you're right.
1987. Rick Astley, Never Gonna Give You Up.
Ah, yes.
Right.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you go. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, this is
I see a sing along with Shawn episode.
I think we need a karaoke
I
night.
love 80s music, but
Yeah.
my stuff is like, okay, get ready. Debbie
Okay.
Gibson, Belinda Carlisle, Cyndi Lauper, Madonna,
Yeah.
Richard Marx, Bryan Adams,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Chris de Burgh, Lady in Red was one of my favorite songs. I wanted to be the Lady in Red. Bon
Man,
Jovi. I also really like Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Such
I came in.
Went to my high school.
He went to your high school?
He did. Yeah.
Really?
Brian Adams.
Oh, Brian Adams.
Really?
Yeah,
I was like, Bon Jovi went to your high school.
I was very confused.
Yeah, no, Brian Adams was a good North Van boy. He went to Sutherland, which is where I graduated from.
No kidding.
While you were there?
No. When he went there, it was a junior high, and then you went from the junior high, you went to Argyle, which was the senior high.
Oh, okay.
So he graduated from Argyle, but he did junior high at Sutherland. And
No way.
his piano is actually in the he donated his piano to the music department at Sutherland. So
Oh, cool.
they can say that they've got Brian Adams piano there.
Wow, I did not know that.
Okay, so 21 Jump Street. Was that
my
the
God.
80s?
Johnny
Yeah.
Depp, wasn't it?
Because-
Yeah, I think
because
that's late
that-
80s.
An episode of that was filmed at my high school while I was in high school.
Oh, no
Really?
kidding.
hmm
Man.
That's so funny.
That was pretty cool.
Okay. I'm gonna blow you guys' mind. Okay, do you remember Live Aid?
No.
Yes.
Live Aid. It sounds like a drink.
Wait, you don't know? Okay, but surely you know Band Aid.
Mm,
Okay, wait. Okay,
putting
do
it
you
on
remember?
Maui.
No.
Go to YouTube. Go to YouTube right now.
No, do you remember? Like, do you remember that song? Like, do they know it's Christmas?
Oh, yeah. Love that.
Okay, right. Okay, yeah. So that Live Aid was the big concert that they did for African famine relief, right? It was like the first global.
Oh, the We Are the World.
That's right. Yeah, all that spun out of that, and then they had the big concert. Like, it was the first time they'd ever done anything like this, where they had a bunch of acts in Wembley and London, and then they connected with Philadelphia, and they had a bunch of acts there, and it was like 20. It was like not 24 hours, but it was like, I don't know, like 18 hours of like live music with like all the hugest bands at the time. It was amazing. I remember watching that and just being like just completely gobsmacked. And that's where, of course, Queen did that, very famous performance that they reenacted for that movie. What's the movie called? Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right. That was a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good. Yeah. So good. Let's see what else. Ryan, give me another guilty pleasure, Ryan. I want another 80s song that you sing and dance to in the guitar dungeon, because I feel like like there's more. So I feel there's more dirt there.
I don't sing and dance to it, but I had a huge, and I guess, well, was she 80s? I don't know. Maybe she wasn't 80s.
No, it's okay. Give it to us anyways. I want.
All right. I think we're alone now. I had a big crush on Tiffany.
Oh, I didn't. You know what? I had Tiffany on my list, and I was too embarrassed to say it. So thank you.
Yeah. Me and Tiffany were getting together.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, if we're gonna go there, I have to mention New Kids on the Block, because they were huge in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, I was kind of too old for them. It was late 80s, but yeah.
Okay. This is good. Okay. I like this. This is, see, we're winging it, folks. Okay. 80s crush, 80s celebrity crushes, everybody.
Oh, so easy. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Go, Shawn. Okay. You're first.
Kirk Cameron. Ricky Schroeder.
Oh yeah. Silver Spoon.
Yeah. Let's see. Who else did I like? Oh, I liked, I kind of like Tony Danza. He was a little old for me, but who's the boss? Oh, Patrick Swayze in Dirty Dancing. Oh my gosh, I still can remember what that looks like. Yeah.
I feel like there's more, but we'll cap
I'll move on.
Like, Shawn's just like, I'm just going to take up the next hour and a half.
I'm feeling a little warm. Move on.
Okay, Ryan. Ryan, Tiffany already done. Okay, Steve, you're up.
Meg Ryan.
Oh yeah, she's cute. I mean, I'm a girl, but I can appreciate that.
Cute as a button. Michelle Pfeiffer. Well, definitely Michelle Pfeiffer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Was she in Grease too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she was.
And she was also Catwoman, was she not?
Yes, she was.
Yes. I think that's
what about you, Rob? Who was your crush?
Mine's pretty ridiculous, actually. Well, this is really geeky. Okay, Aaron Gray from Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, was that? Oh, that might be late 79.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew. I don't know the name of the actress, but totally. I mean, she was really super smart and lovely, and so. I know Melissa Gilbert. Yes, from Little House on the Prairie.
Laura.
That's
Laura Ingalls. I love that.
Right? She's cute. Yes.
Aw.
And that's all I can think of.
I loved Little House on the Prairie.
How about Morgan Fairchild? Yeah, Morgan Fairchild.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, what was that show? Oh, what was that show with Steve Austin in it? Not $6
Million Man.
Yes. Okay.
Jamie Summers.
Okay. No.
Lindsay
Okay, he
Wagner.
did another show. What was the show where he was in it? What was his name? Lee Majors. He was in it and he played a stunt dude.
Oh my God. I have not thought of that show ever.
Right. And there was a girl that was on that show and I can't remember her name, but oh my gosh. Yeah. I think like grade 9 I was consumed with that show just because
the
of
Fall
her.
Guy. The
Fall Guy.
Okay,
The Fall
yeah.
Guy.
That's right.
Yes. Okay. So her as well. I'm sorry, lady.
Heather-
I don't remember your name.
Heather
but-
Thomas.
Heather Thomas. Okay. Big shout out to Heather Thomas, wherever you are. Thank you. Ooh, okay. TV shows. Let's segue to TV shows because this will be good too. Favorite TV show, anybody?
Well, mine, you'll see some themes: Growing Pains, Silver Spoons, Who's the Boss. Might have been watching them because I liked the people.
Yes.
Facts of Life, Different Strokes.
Yeah.
My
Yep.
one, I like Degrassi Junior High. That's a shout out to my
Yes.
age. And then Moonlighting. That was my one grown up show. And this is so
Oh, that
funny.
was a good
So
show.
my parents love them, but I had a bedtime and it was 9:30. And Moonlighting was on from 9 to 10. So I only got to watch the first half of Moonlighting.
Oh, no.
I still have never seen the full episodes and I want to find it and watch them because I loved Bruce Willis and
Yeah.
Sybil Shepherd. They just had such great chemistry and it was such a funny show. So good.
Wow. I forgot about that show, but you're right. That was such a good show. Okay, wait. Greatest American Hero,
Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
Yep.
I loved that show. Or
Yep.
okay, Alf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a big
I
Elf
didn't
fan.
love it.
Okay.
What?
Yeah.
People have no appreciation of puppets.
No.
Let's see what else.
Mine were Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What was there? Airwolf. Yeah.
Oh, Airwolf.
Airwolf.
Yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
Night
Oof.
Court.
Oh, I like Night Court.
Yeah.
And Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes.
was
Yeah.
huge, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that 80s? Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so many really, really good shows.
Quantum Leap.
Oh, yes. That's
Love
right.
that.
Yeah.
I'm always a sucker for any kind of sci-fi. So, Star Trek: The Next Generation started up then.
Mm.
Was that the 80s?
Yeah, that was the 80s.
Really?
Yeah.
MASH, of
Wow.
course.
Oh
but
no,
MASH,
my dad
MASH
used to
ran
watch
forever.
MASH.
Yeah.
Well, The Wonderful World of Disney.
Yep.
I don't think
That's
that's
right.
on anymore.
Yeah.
But
No.
Every Sunday night at 6. Or
yeah.
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
They got a streaming service now.
That's right. Yeah.
It really is weird to think back to that era when like nights of TV were a thing. Because I remember you say Hill Street Blues, and immediately I go to that's Thursdays at 9. Like
Yeah.
you just it was Night Court and then Hill Street Blues, and even if you didn't watch those particular shows, you just knew the block of Miami Vice was on Fridays,
Right.
Fall Guy was on Wednesdays, Greatest American Hero was on Tuesdays. That stuff's locked in my brain for some
Well,
reason.
those days might all be wrong because they were 2 days later in Mackenzie.
That's true. That's true. I don't know when the rest of the world got them.
How about the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
The original.
Oh yes.
Lou Ferrigno,
Yeah.
painted all green.
Don't make me angry.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Oh
Chips.
man, Chips.
Yeah.
Chips.
Didn't watch it.
Wow. See, now we're all quiet because we're just thinking back. It's
Reminiscing.
those are the
Yeah.
days. I want to go back to those days.
No.
Not really.
So
I
we
do
have
not want to go
YouTube
back.
and
I do not want to go back to the days where I was getting stuffed into lockers.
I just want to go back to those upright collar days.
I don't want to
Those
go back
days.
to that hairstyle.
No, well, that's for sure. We were talking about that while we dropped. It was like we're convinced that you probably escaped death several times.
Actually, just a few years ago, my blow dryer caught on fire while I was blow drying my hair.
See, if that had happened, that would have been it. You would have been holding a flamethrower to your head.
That's true. Well, the hairspray. Actually, I remember my parents had a party one night, and my mom's friend had so much hairspray in her hair, and she had really long hair, and it like caught on a candle beside her, and it just.
Yeah.
I mean, she was okay, but the smell was bad.
Aquanet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think we should look up some stats because I'm pretty convinced that there are like a lot of hair related injuries in the 80s. Oh, geez. Okay, so let's do. So we've covered fashion, we've covered music, we've covered movies, we've covered TV shows.
I think the only thing we didn't cover was there were some pretty big news events that happened in the 80s.
Okay. All right.
And not all good.
I think I'm out on this one. I couldn't think of anything. I'm pretty sure I wasn't watching the news that decade yet.
To be honest, I had to Google some of these.
Oh, okay.
So to start with, the Challenger exploded.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
I remember people walking around my high school crying when that happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
But good
What
news,
else?
the Great Wall came down.
Okay.
The Great Wall of China?
No, the German. Berlin Wall.
I was
Berlin
like, wait,
Wall.
what?
The Berlin
Did
Wall.
they rebuild it in the 90s? Did I miss this?
Trump's wall, damn it. Didn't you pay attention? It came
So
down.
good.
Okay,
We're going to make America great again. We brought the Great Wall down.
Okay, this is too many. There's been too many walls in history. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what else, Ryan?
And we had Expo 86, the World
Of
Exposition
course.
came to BC.
Expo. That I
Yes.
remember.
Yeah.
The SkyTrain started
Yeah.
in 86 too, or 85 maybe.
Oh man.
It was 86, I think. I used to ride
Okay.
it pretty much every day to school.
Wow.
Which should chill anybody who's still riding the SkyTrain, knowing that thing was built back when Elf was still on the air.
Well, I remember that when the people came to the school to tell us about the SkyTrain and how if you fell in, you would get electrocuted, and how and
geez.
don't even step on that yellow line, and like putting the fear of God into us.
Wow.
Wait, that's not true? Like, because I totally got that speech too.
Pretty sure the line is okay to step on.
Oh, okay. But no, if you do fall in, you do get electrocuted,
Yes,
don't you?
you
Okay,
can.
good.
Although
Okay,
I know
good.
people who've fallen in, so I don't really understand. I think
Yeah.
it gets live as the train approaches. I'm not really sure.
Oh man. Okay, Expo 86. Okay, what else, Rye?
Those were the three I had. The Wall, Expo, and Challenger.
Well, wasn't Reagan was shot in the 80s, right? Like that would have been
Yeah.
early 80s.
Yeah.
Like I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
That was a big deal.
wasn't it
Chernobyl?
weird that he became the president in the first place because he was an actor?
Yeah.
Well, he was
Yes.
governor of California before that, so he,
Oh, okay.
he didn't go straight from actor to president.
Okay.
Yeah, there was definitely concern that they'd put an actor in charge for sure.
hmm
Yeah. Like so
Do you remember watching the Falkland War?
no.
We're hearing about
No.
it, but yeah, too young.
I can,
Was
I
that-
can remember it being on the news.
Yeah, I mean, I remember hearing about it, but like I wasn't really the age where I was like dialed into like politics. Like something would have to be a pretty big event, like the space shuttle blowing up, for it to register on my mind at that point.
Yeah.
I was far too consumed with Dr. Zoom and the Electric Mayhem Muppet band to pay attention to politics. But no, there was other stuff too, right? Like there was
Well, Chernobyl,
Chernobyl was the 80s. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
massacre in Tiananmen Square.
Was that the 80s? I feel like that was at the 90s. Was that
was
the 80s?
89. No, it was
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't Mount St. Helens erupt or something? in
Yes.
1980?
Yes.
that
Yeah,
was-
totally. No,
that
that's
was
right.
when I was in elementary school.
Hmm.
So that would have been 70,
No.
79, I think.
No, I
Okay.
think you're wrong
so.
about that. Okay, hold on. I'm Googling
Ask
this.
Google.
I'm doing it.
Okay, Steve's our official Googler.
I'm guessing
of the-
1980.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right,
Oh,
Sean.
you're right. You're right. It is 1980. Yeah.
I'm siding with my boss on this one.
Wise choice. Wise.
Thank
wise.
you.
Very wise.
Yeah, it was right on the cusp. I do remember that because I remember like the ash actually made it to Mackenzie.
Oh, wow.
Or wait,
2 days later, though,
no,
right?
Yeah. No, you're right. I totally got that wrong. I remember watching on the news that the ash had made it to Vancouver because we had Vancouver news. And I just filled in the blanks there. I just wanted to be involved. Nothing made it to Mackenzie. Except for Miami Vice Tuxes. Mount St. Helens. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. What about Rick Hansen or Terry Fox? Were either of them in? Oh, Terry Fox was the 80s.
Yes. I think Rick Hansen was too.
Yeah, I think so. And also Princess Diana and Prince Charles got married. That was a big thing.
Yep.
Those are the ones that stand out in my mind.
That's true. No, that's very true. I remember, Rick Hansen, friend of the show, incidentally.
That's right.
He's been on. So there.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys got Rick Hansen?
I know. It was amazing. We got both Rick Hansens. We got a Rick Hansen who was
You're a bastard, Rob.
we got Rick Hansen, who is a herbalist in California.
Okay.
You suck.
And whose name incidentally is spelled E-N.
Leave it to the blind guy to get the spelling wrong. Yeah. I got Rick Hansen, and everybody's like, "We've got Rick Hansen." Like, yep. And then we found out, like Bob said, it was herbalist or whatever.
Did you not know until he actually joined the Zoom room?
The day of the show.
I think the day we canceled, we bailed.
Day of the show, I actually I actually looked into it's like, this looks weird. Like what's going on?
I just saw Hansen, right? I didn't have Jaws give me the spelling. I just saw Rick Hansen and went with it. So my bad.
I'm just like, Ryan, this guy seems
like the actual Rick Hansen, Man in Motion. You got him?
Yes.
Eventually, yes. He eventually took pity, and actually, we had to. I think we had to chase him for it was a good 6 months, but we eventually got him.
Did you have to pay?
Nope.
Oh wow!
No.
Cool. He had just come out of a school talk he did with some kids, I guess, and so he did the interview from his car or his van or wherever he was. But yeah, he made the time, and it was a great conversation.
I have to look that one up.
Yeah. That's a feather in our cap.
Yep.
Yeah.
We canceled the show with the other Rick Hansen. I kind of felt bad. He was really excited to be being asked to be on a podcast.
No one had ever asked him before, I'm sure.
Yeah. And
it's a podcast.
He's just like, I want to have been a fly on the wall at his dinner table. Like when he got the invite, he's like, these guys from Canada have a podcast. They want me to be on it. Martha. Right.
Shut up and eat your kale.
Oh dear. Okay. Anyways, yes. Yeah. Terry Fox, Rick Hansen, both things.
Actually, I think Terry Fox, because the first Terry Fox run was in 1981.
Oh, okay. So maybe.
Oh, okay.
All right. You're right.
I remember going to Brownie Camp and we had to do skits. And one of them was the Terry Fox run was like one of the skits, but that would have been like 1980 or 1981. And then the other skit we did was the wedding. Cause I remember I had to be Prince Charles. Cause we were all girls. So.
Oh, okay. So it wrapped up September 1st, 1980. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 80s.
Like, why does Prince Charles have such big hair?
I didn't have big hair yet. That was later.
We also have to have a little bit of AT content in here, being called AT Banter. So let's real quick. What kind of AT was in the 80s?
Braille and Speak came out.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So what year? Yeah. What was that? 86, I think.
Steve, do you have that? That's still there that I sent out?
I could find it.
I think it was 85, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the mid 80s. Yeah.
Because I had to type and speak, but I didn't have it until mid 90s, probably.
Yeah, I've got a Braille and Speak 2000 that I got in 97, but it was way out earlier than that.
So for the audience who are probably younger than us, the Braille and Speak was basically a first generation note taker, right?
Yeah, it was a Braille input and speech output device that, I think the first model had 640K of memory. And then the 2000 had 2 megabytes of memory. And then you could use an external floppy disk drive as well for transferring data.
Crazy. And then right at the end of the 80s, I do know this, in 89 was the very first version of JAWS, which would have been JAWS for DOS.
Yep.
Because I remember 92 learning VERT. Was there something called VERT? VERT or something?
Soft VERT, yeah, from Telesensory Systems.
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know.
It was a DOS screen reader.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I had this rainbow reader that was like a $4,000 machine that would scan. It was massive. It was like bigger than a bread box? I don't know, bigger than like a professional printer. And you could put your book in it, but that was like 1994. I don't know when that came out. It was useless. It would read to you, but you couldn't connect it to your computer or anything. So once you read whatever you read, it was just there. Like you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, you see, you should have bought an Oscar from us instead of buying that rainbow reader.
Maybe. Or the Optilec? Or what's the thing that vibrates on your finger?
The Opticon.
That's the Opticon.
Yeah.
That was actually 70s tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what was it?
It was a little camera that you ran over top of print, and you left your finger sitting on top of this array of dots. A lot more dots than you had like for Braille, but it basically vibrated the dots up whenever the camera ran across black.
No.
And
I don't know how anyone could actually read that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, a lot of people did, and did a lot of reading with them too.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Well, I had written down the 4-track tape recorder because I feel like that was an important piece of technology when I was going to school.
It certainly was. On the augmentative communication side, the Touch Talker came out, which was the first speaking device that Print Uramic Company out of Wooster, Ohio, produced. And I was fortunate enough to repair those, and the Light Talker, which was a head pointing version of the same. And I even got flown down to the suburbs of Wooster, Ohio to get training on how to repair them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the CCTVs that people had in their classrooms that were these massive, TV screens with the tray underneath that on wheels that you would wheel from one class to the other.
Oh man, crazy. So not a lot going on in assistive technology. It sounds like in the 80s, there was no time for assistive technology in the 80s. We were far too busy making parachute pants.
Listening to music and watching movies.
What else do you remember, Shawn? Because unlike you, I had sight until 1995. So what did school look like? What was the technology like? Like you've mentioned a couple different items, but I have no perspective on what it's like in the 80s to try to have an education.
Yeah. I mean, I could read print very slowly, like one letter at a time until I was 18. So I actually got through school with pretty much a handheld magnifier, a tape recorder. That was about it. And it wasn't until after I graduated that I started learning how to use assistive technology. But I know that friends of mine were using, if they had vision, it was the CCTV. And at that time, vision teachers were really encouraging if you had any vision that you should use it. So even if you had to blow it up so big that one letter filled the screen, that's what you were doing. Otherwise, you'd be carrying your Perkins Brailler around with you.
Yeah.
And when I think about even research and papers in college. It was like, go to the library, get a volunteer to walk around with you, help you find articles, photocopy them, bring them to the resource center where somebody would read them onto a cassette tape.
Wow.
At which point I would listen to them and say, no, that one won't work. It was such a long and tedious process. And then having to listen to a tape and then type out quotes if you were going to put them in your paper and try to figure out what page that was on. It was just, like, thank you, internet. Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. I often think, like, I'm thankful to have been born when I was. And even that, another 10 years would have been a lot easier in terms of technology. But
yeah. Yeah, because and trust me, like when we do this again next year and we talk about the 90s, it's not going to be much better.
Yeah, I'll bow out of that one because I've forgotten most of the 90s.
I don't think I really know much about the 90s either. It wasn't an era that like stuck in your memory. I don't know.
I feel like the 90s were like the 80s light.
Yeah.
It's just like they still had some stupid fashions, but it was kind of like gearing down. It was like the hair wasn't quite as big. The fashion wasn't quite as bad, but it was still kind of bad.
I think the 90s just sort of stood around and looked at the 80s and went, let's not do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, we've covered, look at the, geez, we've been talking for like an hour and a half, you guys.
All right, we better cut this off. We could go all day.
We could literally continue this, but oh man, so good though.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. This was awesome. So fun.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, next year. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have to pick a decade for next year then. If we don't want to do the 90s, we can't do the aughts. I don't know what
do you even call that decade? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
The aughts. Yeah.
Let's do an episode on millennials
Sure. You can invite the youth
or Gen Z or.
Yeah, we know some. Wait, what's? Oh, see, all the gens confuse me. I don't even know what gen I'm at.
Neither do I.
All those are really
Generation
confusing.
X, Rob.
Am I? Is that after Z?
No, before Z.
Do you know the alphabet?
You didn't watch the Muppets enough, Rob.
Well, yeah, clearly. Need to go back to Sesame Street. No, but okay, wait. All right, so
Generation X is born between 65 and 79, 80.
I'm an X.
I'm an X too then. Okay.
See,
Yep.
so we're Wait, which was Slackers? Is that a different generation, or is that another name for Gen X?
No,
we're not
every generation
slackers.
has slackers.
No.
We're like hardworking folks, us Gen X's.
Oh man, see, it's
Aren't
all
we?
too confusing. Oh, so wait, and what's the current generation? Gen Z?
Is it Gen Z right now?
No,
I
maybe.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because when are you a generation? When you're like in of working age? Like when, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know any of the rules.
You can't criticize a generation when they're only 10 years old. Like they don't have a chance yet.
Well, anybody out there who knows, who can detail for us all the generation stuff, email us.
Let us know if X comes before Z.
That's right.
It definitely does come before Z.
Cowbell@atbanter.com. Help me out. Help a brother out.
Is there a generation Y then?
I don't
think
know.
so.
Is there?
Is there?
There is. Yeah.
Wow, they don't even get mentioned.
No.
No, they also fall under the category of millennials too. So
Oh, that's
See, they have two names.
I think they get referred to more as millennials.
yes.
And before Generation X, of course, were the baby boomers.
Right.
The boomers, right? Of course. And then I guess anybody before that, I guess, is
Dead.
Dead. Yeah, I guess generation dead.
Interestingly, they refer to people born between 1928 and 1945 as the silent generation.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, I'm sure. Huh. Interesting. Well, that's it then. We just have boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, millennials, and that. Yeah.
Nerds.
And on that note,
Yes.
cue the music. On that note,
the music.
We built this podcast. That, oh my gosh, if we can, maybe I'm going to get Clement to work on that. I'm going to tell him you need to make AT Banter, the new AT Banter theme song, and do a parody of that song.
Nice.
Sure.
Love it. Hey, Ryan.
Rob,
Where can people find us?
they can find us at atbanter.com.
Hey, they can also drop us an email if they so desire at cowbell@atbanter.com.
And of course, we are just thrillingly active on social media. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can even find us on Instagram.
And Shawn, where can they find you?
We're in all those places too, but also blindbeginnings.ca and Limitless, our podcast. Check it out.
That's right. Just search for Limitless and Blind Beginnings in any of your favorite podcast apps, or go to blindbeginnings.ca. Well, dear listeners, thank you so much for indulging us. This was a very fun episode for us. We had a great time. Big thanks, of course, to Shawn for joining us today. And we will see everybody next week.
Happy Retro Day.
Happy Retro Day. We built this city.
This podcast has been brought to you by Canadian Assistive Technology, providing low vision and blindness solutions across Canada. Find us online at www.canastech.com. That's CANASSTECH.com. Or call us toll free at 1-844-795-8324. For all your assistive technology servicing needs, call Chaos Technical Services at 778-847-6840 or find them online at chaostechnicalservices.com.
Master of the one take.